because we know that those deficiencies or those deficits exist. We don't always know to what level. And unfortunately, sometimes I think we only find out after something bad happens.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like,
We're more reactive.
how do you
than proactive?
measure that? Yeah, because like I feel like even like a normal person too, to diagnose that, it's typically they're in some sort of pain or can't function properly, and then it's like, okay, you have an iron deficiency, or you're not getting enough vitamin D, so you're depressed. It's like, how can we start to get ahead of that micronutrient area too?
Yeah. I mean, I know on our end, and granted, each university or organization will be different, but we actually started implementing some new policies as far as like lab testing goes for all of our incoming freshmen and transfers. And that was a big leap because it's definitely a financial investment. But what we found is that nearly 50% of all the kids we screened, even just for low ferritin and low vitamin D, over half of them came back as deficient.
Wow.
And it's like, what
That's
if
nuts.
they had not tested that? They would have just gone undiagnosed until they got tired or had a stress fracture. So
that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, and
50%.
50, that's
low
nuts.
and low vitamin D.
Yep. Our new incoming wave of soccer players, it was actually 80%.
Wow. So how does that impact you? Like if you're low on both of those?
Sure. So especially for the female athlete, I mean, if you have low iron or low ferritin, usually the first side effect you're going to feel is fatigue. And that one is hard because there are a lot of things that cause fatigue. You can have a long day and you're going to be tired. You can have a hard training session, you're going to be tired. But what's distinctly different about having low iron is that you're going to notice you're actually starting your practices or your training sessions feeling pretty defeated, already feeling drained. And those are times when you should be feeling ready to go and you should be feeling energized. So that's typically the biggest thing that they will experience. Vitamin D, unfortunately, is so much more subtle. Most people don't know that they have a vitamin D deficiency.
Okay,
Typically, it really only emerges unless you are, if you're actually like testing for it. But what we'll find is that you may have low energy, bone health may be compromised, muscle health may be compromised. You might constantly be getting sick. I mean, there's so many uses for vitamin D in the body. It's unreal.
Sounds like me. So how could somebody like me, because I've actually been sick the last 4 months, like for 1 week out of each of the 4 months. And one was COVID, but like something like this where I get a sinus infection. How can somebody, is it like a lab test that I do, or how can I test for those micronutrients to see what levels they're at?
Yeah, so they're all blood tests at this point.
Okay.
And if you were somebody who was suspecting maybe a vitamin D deficiency, basically what you would need to look for are just like the commonalities that you would typically find. So for example, are you not getting a lot of sunlight? Like, let's be real, most of us in Indiana right now haven't seen the sun in a couple of weeks. So we're probably not synthesizing a lot of natural vitamin D from there. Do you eat foods that are rich in vitamin D, fortified dairy products, fish, eggs, any of those?
I'd say eggs, yes. In terms of dairy, no. I typically stay away from dairy.
No boy.
Because it just, does not agree with my body.
Okay, so that would be another box we would check, basically.
So I'm 2 for 2 right now.
You're 2 for 2.